Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. I'm one of the original OCD recovery coaches to be online, and I can tell you that after 1,000 videos, 15 years of experience, my message is still remaining the same. You can fully recover from OCD. I recovered, my clients recovered, and you can fully recover too. Today, I wanted to talk to you about why licensed professionals always say that OCD is chronic and you can never recover. And I'm going to explain it in a way of logic. So, if you have any questions, always leave it in the comments below, and we can discuss this further in the comments. So, if you go to see any psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, most likely, I'm not talking about people who are gonna start doing inner child work with you and talk therapy and all of that, hypnosis, whatever. Like we're not discussing that group of people, okay? Not those licensed specialists. We're talking about people who are knowledgeable about OCD, okay? And if you go see one of them, again, doesn't matter, Bob, Sam, or Julie, they're gonna do three things. They're gonna do on-purpose exposures, hierarchy, which is kind of similar, scripting, and maybe or maybe not medication. So let's go over those in detail, and you will see why using those tools, as they always say, use recovery tools. And when you use those tools, yeah, you will be afloat, but you will never recover. And here's why. Let's take, for example, on-purpose exposures. You go to your therapist, you're like, I am afraid of touching doorknobs. Your therapist is like, great, today we're gonna touch doorknobs. And you touch doorknobs in sessions, you're no longer afraid of doorknobs. But by the time the next week's session comes about, you already switched from doors to windows. Now you are afraid of windows. You go to the next session, you say, well, I'm not afraid of doors, now I'm afraid of windows. Your therapist again says, great, now let's do the windows. And then next week, now it's, I don't know, the floor. Great, let's do the floor. Forever. So does this keep OCD chronic? Absolutely. Absolutely, this will keep OCD chronic because you're trying to cure a symptom. Your OCD will always find something new to be afraid of, but you're curing a symptom. So of course, this will keep OCD chronic. I always equate it to acne problem. Popping one pimple at a time will not fix your acne. A new one will always come up. So anyways, so that's on-purpose exposures. Hierarchy works in a very similar way, where with hierarchy, you have a list of things that you are scared of, from the least scariest to the most scariest. And that's the order that you do them in, which makes sense. And the hierarchy is actually helpful in situations where a person is avoiding. So if they're avoiding real life a lot, that stuff needs to be done through hierarchy. So it's not a waste. And if you are doing hierarchy for reduce or getting rid of avoidance, that's 100% necessary. I just want you to understand that. I don't want you to kind of poo-poo the hierarchy altogether, because it does have a purpose. And I do hierarchy with clients as well. It is helpful. But beyond avoidance, if you are just trying to do hierarchy to expose yourself to the things that you fear, what's going to happen is that your brain just going to come up with more things. So let's say even if you have like 100 points on your hierarchy that has to do with, let's say, harm OCD, you've done those 100 points, and now your OCD switched magically to relationship OCD. What new hierarchy? Again, it will keep your OCD chronic. So do you see what I mean? That, okay, the first thing we talked about, on-purpose exposures in the therapist's office, will never end. You'll just continue to do more and more of them. Hierarchy also will jump potentially to another theme, especially if the person is very young, right? If the person is around, let's say, I'd say under 40, chances are their OCD will switch to another theme. Just because as life changes, as values change, the person will say, for example, kids value their parents the most, so they have worries about their parents. Then they start dating, then they worry about stuff that has to do with that. Then they, let's say, start to go into material things such as jobs, all of that. They start to worry about that. Then maybe they become religious, they worry about religion, and so on and so forth. As life changes, themes will change because your value system changes. Okay, so again, doing hierarchies, you're going to be doing them your entire life. Now let's talk about scripting. Scripting is where you write out your thought of the day, your worst thought of the day, your scary thought of the day, and in the graphic detail, and you reread this over and over and over again until you habituate to it. So first of all, from the clients that have been doing this with their doctors, clients tend to look at it as, I am doing something to make my anxiety go away. So I had a trigger and now I need to do something to make my anxiety go away. How does that not sound to you like a compulsion? Do you see what I'm saying? So scripting, even though it has a good intention to habituate, it actually becomes a compulsion. And even if, let's say, it doesn't become a compulsion, it's only zeroing in on your, as I say, brain fart of the day. Tomorrow you will have a new brain fart, and again, it will keep your OCD chronic. So those three tools, even though they will keep you afloat, you won't drown, it will keep you afloat. It will never recover you because it's a constant popping a pimple, another one comes up, popping another one comes up. With all those three tools, medication gives you an edge where basically it will kind of lift your anxiety or reduce rather your anxiety a little bit, lift your spirits a little bit, but it's not a way out of OCD. It's basically a band-aid. It will work, but it will work depending on the person. I think we did a few polls on it. You can look back and see. It works, but there is side effects. And if any doctor tells you there's no side effects, I've had a situation where I was taking medication personally when I was going through OCD in the beginning, and I had severe side effects. And the doctor just didn't believe me. She's like, no, that can't be right. I'm like, lady, I'm having brain zaps. I am having nausea every day. That's not normal for me. No, that must be something else, So that's a whole other story for another day. But medication does come with side effects. So for some people, in my unprofessional, non-medical opinion, medication is sometimes necessary to get a leg up, to be able to kind of climb over the fence. So let's say if you're not making any progress, then that 20% or 30% that the medication might give you might just be enough boost to do recovery work if you're having trouble doing recovery work. But you cannot look, again, it's something that you can't look at as a way to recover from OCD because it's a band-aid thing. It can help you, it won't recover you. And also, if you're doing recovery work while on medication, that's also kind of like recovering in a bubble. That, yes, you are doing recovery work, but when you come off of the medication, if the medication was really helping you, and depending on some people it does, some people it doesn't, but even to the people it does, it's very rarely where it's over 50% reduction of symptoms. It happens, but it's very rare. Again, in my opinion of what I see with clients over the years. So, and you can also see it from the polls that we've done on the website, if you look back through the polls. So this is just how it is. So when you hear a medical professional tell you that OCD is chronic and they're using these tools, that is why OCD chronic. I'll tell you something else. Outcome is very poor when you do a brain surgery with an axe. Also, very bad prognosis. You see what I mean? It's not you, it's the tools. And the tools, they're not bad, they're just not gonna get you there. So and this is why I really like coaching, because coaches came into, and it, like me or other people, they came into this themselves. They're saying like, hey, look, this worked for me. And they all have their own kind of unique method, and it's different versus the licensed professionals. They're nameless, faceless, read from the same book, went from the same school, got the same diploma, is going to regurgitate the same information at you. That's just my personal opinion based on my experience and the experience of all my clients. You know, you can take it, you can leave it, but this is just what I see. And of course it's going to keep you chronic, because look at the tools. How could it not keep you chronic, really? So I hope you find this video helpful. It's just, I just want you to get all the information so you're not going to fall kind of in the same way that I fell when I saw a medical professional. Because when I saw them and they gave me all this stuff, I thought I would recover, then I didn't, then I got discouraged and all of that, and I didn't know what to do. You know what to do. I have 1,000 videos telling you what to do. Do the work. If you would like my help, you know where to find me on youhaveocd.com. We can set up a session, set up a talk, whatever. And I will see you again tomorrow.